Good morning, boys and girls of Vivian Field Middle School. Today we'll be having our Veterans Day ceremony this afternoon, and I wanted to go over some of the expectations and things that you'll see before we do so. Of course, we're going to have a lot of different dignitaries from the City of Farmers Branch. We'll have principals from several other schools, along with at least one school board member. There, of course, will be veterans from several different wars, including World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam War, and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. We'll have veterans that represent those wars here with us today. I want to go over some of the appropriate behavior expectations. Of course, you should be sitting quietly and paying attention to the speakers or the music or whatever is taking place during the ceremony. You should not be speaking with friends that are sitting next to you, not even making comments about anything that's going on. All electronics should be left away. You do not need to have them out to take any pictures or video or anything like that. The yearbook class and Mr. Ruppersberg have things set up to do that for you. Some of the things that you can expect to see. Once the ceremony begins, we'll have the posting of the colors, which is our flags. We'll have some patriotic music being played. The R.L. Turner ROTC drill team will be coming in to perform. And then, of course, we'll have our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is a former teacher here and a current reservist. He's fought in wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. He's actually spent over 6 years overseas in those conflicts. It is our very own First Sergeant Mark Leach. After he's done, we'll have the presentation of the Missing Man table. And we will have the playing of taps, a military song by one of our own students. Why do we celebrate Veterans Day? There'll be a little bit more about this in the Prezi, but I do want to try and help you understand. There's Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Now, Memorial Day, which we celebrate near the end of school in May, talks about those soldiers and people that have fought for our country that have passed away in service. Veterans Day celebrates not only those people, but also all of those that are living now today that have fought in past conflict, that are fighting conflict now, and for those that have just served in the military and never had to actually go fight. But they are members of our military, and they've had to make great sacrifice for their family to be in the military. Now, as most of you know, I, of course, am a military brat. My dad was in the Army for 28 years. I moved all over the planet with him, and I'm very, very proud of my dad for having served. My brother was a Marine, and my grandfather was in the Army, and he fought in World War II. He's still alive today. He's 95 years old and lives up in New York. So I'm very proud of my granddad, my dad, and my brother. Very proud of them. One of the things you need to understand why we celebrate this, a lot of people come to our country. Some of you had your parents move here in the last 10 years. And those of us that live here and that came here hundreds of years ago, we came because there was something that was not free wherever we were. Whether it was religious persecution, not being able to find a good job to support our family, whatever the reason might be, people come to the United States because of the freedoms that we have here. Many of you students always want to stand up for your rights. I'm glad you can do that. But why can you do that? The reason you can do that is simply because someone has fought for the freedom that you have. They've given you the freedom to be a part of our country in America and celebrate that freedom. It is our job to thank these people, to show respect to them. And that is what we're doing with our Veterans Day program. And that is why we celebrate Veterans Day every year, is to give thanks for the great freedoms that we have in our country. That's all I have for right now. We're going to finish this Prezi. There are going to be some videos that show not good behavior. And then, of course, we'll have the expectations and good behavior. And then we'll talk a little bit again about why we celebrate Veterans Day and when it actually started. That's all I have for this Talk Tuesday on a Friday. Have a great rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you in the gym this afternoon. Thank you.